Hey there, welcome to day 135 of playing chess until I reach 1500 Elo. Currently we're at 1300 after a loss in our last game. We tried to play a 10-minute game and it did not go so great. I'm more used to the 15-minute time, so let's go ahead and jump into another 15-minute game for today here. And here we go. We're up against a pretty high rated player, 1378, and I have white. Let's go ahead and try to play our Jobava London that we've been playing. Okay, looks like we're getting it. And he's taking a moment. Figure out which move he plays. Okay, he plays this, which is not a good move because we can immediately play knight b5 and hit this with the fork. And I think he's gonna push the pawn here to cut off the bishop on the diagonal. But yeah, this is like the most common blunder that you face, I think, in the Jobava London. So I guess I'm a little surprised that he's playing it, because most people at this rating probably would. I don't think I've seen anyone play it in Rapid. I've seen people play it in Blitz for sure. So he must not have faced the Jobava London very much. Okay, and then we take, and he will take, and then I'll take back here. Knight's gonna move, and then we want to take this pawn here. And we actually have a sacrifice where we can take with the queen. And if he takes with the queen, then we fork the king and queen. So this is like the most common, well-known sacrifice, I think, in the Jobava London. Whenever someone plays this knight c6 move right away. So yeah, let's see where he goes with the knight here. I mean, I wonder if he's taking quite a while. So I wonder if I don't think he's aware of the sacrifice, probably, because otherwise he wouldn't have played knight c6 to begin with if he knew about this. But he could also hop the knight back, and then I think I'll just take with the queen. And then if he forks the knight and the queen, then we can hop here with check to get out of that fork, I think. I believe. It's taken a while. What else might he do here? I mean, he kind of needs to move the knight, so let's really go back, go here. Okay, he goes there. So he's hitting the pawn. I think I'd just go for the sacrifice anyway. If he takes here, we get the check. If we lose this pawn, do we care about that? Otherwise, I could defend the pawn first. Defend the pawn. Here, 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 here. We'll still be up a pawn and have a better position. I think I'll just do the sacrifice anyway, rather than try to defend it. Maybe defending it is better. I'm not sure though. I just think it might give him some other kind of initiative maybe. Also, if he ever checks with the bishop, we just push that. So, okay, let's go ahead and just do that. And hopefully I'm not messing anything up here. If he takes here, if he forks right away, we still have the check. And then if take, we take with the queen, and then we try to trade. The queen's off. And then he would have gotten rid of his bishop for my knight, so I think at this point he's probably realizing that we have the fork. So maybe he'll try to find something else. But I also now have space to try to use my rook to attack here as well. Since my whole queen side's open up, I could castle, get my rook on the d-file. This king is going to be kind of stuck out in the open. The only thing I'm still not sure about is whether I should have done something over here, like try to defend the pawn from the knight. Okay, he gives check, but we're just going to go here. Okay, so now he's guarding this with the bishop. I mean, I think I'll probably just take the queen and we just trade. Knight can hop back. We're up 2 pawns right now. So I will be able to guard this pawn, it looks like, because he's letting me take my turn here. Wait, I also have this, which is a discovered attack on the bishop. Should I do that? I mean, he takes here. I take here. Oh wait, no. Because once he takes here, his queen will be covering the bishop. So I think I'm just going to take here. Now I have this, but bishop's just going to go here, and I don't think that it's all that useful. I'll probably just go ahead and castle here. I mean, yeah, castle with check. Can block or go over, or I just go ahead and defend this right away. Should I I mean, right now he would just take this, so I don't want to do that. Yeah, I think I'll just castle, because that comes with check. So, let's just do that first. Don't see why not, and then probably knight here. Okay. This is pinned. Do I have anything here? I don't think so. This doesn't work because he can take here. Can I get a second attacker on the bishop? Because it's pinned, so if I can add pressure, that would be perfect. I don't think I can. If here... Yeah, I don't think there's any follow-up to that I can see. Let's just bring the knight out. Oh, wait. Oh, I just missed that this is actually a fork. And that pawn's hanging. Okay, so I messed up there. Yeah, it was when I castled. Yeah, I totally overlooked that castling, that was the only defender of that pawn, and that it puts the rook on this forking square. That was easy to have noticed, but I just overlooked it. Okay, he does play that. If I take here, that might be the best approach, potentially. Or I go here, here. I don't want him to take this one, though, because this is the one that's pinning right now. And I can't connect them with the bishop. Yeah, this was a pretty bad blunder. I think if I take this one, he takes. And then I free up this other one. Probably the best way to do it. I mean, I can also threaten a fork myself here. So if he takes, I fork. Does that make sense? Here, 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 here. So he would probably need to guard against that. Wish I could go here, because then I'd be threatening the fork and double attacking the bishop. That would be perfect, which is pinned. But I can't do that right now. I could go here. Actually, yeah, I could do this. And then if he takes, then I go there. And then if he takes here, then I go here, here, here. And I think that would be okay. It's actually kind of confusing. Maybe that works. I'm not totally sure. Otherwise, I just go here, here. And I don't have another check. Oh wait, actually I do. Oh no, what did I just misclicked. Dang it. That was not what I wanted to do. Okay, at least probably could have been a worse misclick. No, that was pretty bad. I mean, because he can just take this and he's not even trapped in there. I guess I could push the pawn to trap his knight, but that was a pretty bad misclick. I did that like a week ago or something. Yeah, that was... First I blundered, then I misclicked. Yeah, no, I had a misclick like a week ago, and then I just hung a rook when I was winning, but then I luckily was still able to draw it after. Yeah. What should I do now? That's guarded twice. This is pinned. I'm thinking maybe still here, threaten the fork, but now I have no, like, he already took my rook, so I don't have any kind of like tempo. He can just defend this, and then he already has the rook, so it doesn't make much of a difference. I could push here to trap the knight, but I don't see how I actually win the knight, because the rook is the one doing the trapping here, and the rook would have to be the one attacking the knight, so yeah, it seems kind of bad. I think I'm just gonna try to push this and then go here to double attack this with... That's the only thing I can think of. Double attack that and threaten the fork on here. I think if I hadn't misclicked, I would have been okay, because I was already up +2 materially. So if I sacked this, yeah, I think we would have still been okay for sure. The misclick made it a lot worse. But I might be winning this back, because I don't, this piece at least, because I don't see what he would do here to guard it. He kind of needs to guard the fork. So he could go here. Oh wait, yeah, never mind, he can do that. No, but I take with check. Okay. He goes here. Oh, he guards it like that. Okay, so this is still covered by the bishop. This... I think I definitely want to take like this with check. And then we are hitting this twice. Okay, so he's hitting the knight. Take, and then he takes the knight, so that's not good. I don't have a pawn to guard the knight, unfortunately, so I might just have to move the knight. And my bishop still has not developed at all. Can I move the knight? Yeah, if I move the knight here, it does actually cut off his knight, or here. Maybe here is good, because this he can attack it easily. It is with check. Yeah, I think I'm going to go here so that I cut off his knight. Seems good. So his knight's still trapped in the corner, and I got the bishop back, but he has a rook. If I could win the knight, we would be okay. I'm threatening to win this pawn. Should probably go here so that I can do this and then hit the knight with my bishop. I actually forgot. Didn't realize that was an option. I thought I would have to hit it with my rook back here. But if I go here, knight's still trapped, and then bishop here, and then he would probably sack for the pawn. Okay, he just guards the pawn, so he's playing a little bit defensively. I think I like that. So we can't take that pawn, but that's okay. I think I'm going to go with my other plan of trying to win the knight. And his king is really exposed, but I only have the one rook here. I think if I were him, I would have maybe tried to trade the rooks off, because I can't take here with the rook first. I guess, yeah, I think if he tried to trade the rooks off, that would have been a lot better for him. Also keeping an eye on if there's ever a way to trap the bishop here, but he is able to just escape on this square. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go here. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that looks good. Yeah, I think just here. We're threatening to get the knight here. Yeah, he hits my knight. I think if I hop back, that should be fine. He can push again. He does that. Still, I could go here. Could also go to the corner and then try to hop back to here. But if my knight, if he starts getting initiative, then I might not get a chance to jump back. So that's the only issue with that. Here. Have this square as well. Here. I want my bishop to be on this diagonal. I could also hit this first. If he takes, I have a fork on both rooks, actually. But then I lose the knight and the bishop for a rook, so I don't think I want to do that, actually. Here. Just trying to plan where I would route my knight afterwards, because I'm considering going here to the corner. I mean, if we go to the corner, we do get to hit the bishop. Bishop could go back, and we could take it and maybe worsen his pawns and get rid of his bishop. So, okay, I think I'm going to try the corner. Not sure if that's a good idea, but I don't really want him to keep chasing the knight around, and I don't like as much where it would end up. I don't want it to block my bishop here. So the plan would be to reroute the knight here, but first we want to put the bishop here and try to win his knight, and also threaten the fork and taking the pawn there. So he's up +2, but if we can win the knight, assuming... Okay, now he wants to trade. Yeah, I think he should have done that before. So I'm not going to be able to threaten the fork. I can still win the knight, I think. Should I drop back at all? Is there any reason to do that? I think I'll just take. But I'm just considering if there's any reason he drop back, take, but then he gets to move. I still think he can't free his knight though. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just gonna take. and then go here. We are still hitting the pawn even though there's not a fork there anymore. Once we... I mean, I guess we won't take the knight with the bishop because I assume he'll probably take the pawn. So we'll take back with the pawn here. Unless he plays something else. I don't think this makes sense. I mean, it would free his knight to come here. But he would just be giving away the rook for my knight and then we'd be back to equal material. Those are the only moves that I think seem likely, either here or here, but I don't see why he would do that. Bishop can get on this diagonal, but it's not looking at anything. And then he just has his pawns and king. It still might be tricky because we're going to be equal material, but he's going to have the rook. And I don't know, rooks are pretty, yeah, there we go. He takes the pawn. Rooks are pretty powerful. I mean, I have more minor pieces. Okay, he goes ahead and moves the bishop there, so I guess he will be able to get away. I probably will go here anyway. Actually, I can just go ahead and take the pawn. Can he push to block me in? No. Because this wouldn't be defended. So I might just take the pawn. He has check. I come up. I don't think the check is an issue. This knight's guarded. The rook is a few moves away from threatening anything like this weak pawn. So yeah, I might just go ahead and take the pawn. I will be hitting the next pawn here as well. Otherwise, I hop the knight in first. Then he probably goes... No, then I'm covering the check. Knight here first. Can't go here, can't go here, can't go here. Maybe he goes like all the way back here to hit this pawn. Could push it. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and take. His king is pretty active and he has these two pawns over here versus my one that he might be able to win. So that could be a concern, is him trying to promote with these two. So I definitely might need to get my knight back in the action. Okay, he does that. I think I'll go ahead and get my knight back in right now. Still not threatening to trap it. And now he does have weaker pawns. I don't know if I would want to take the bishop. I probably would, even though it would strengthen his pawns. I think it's worth it because this bishop is going to be able to attack over here. Actually, well, right now this is covered, actually. I think I didn't notice that before. It is covered by the knight right now. I can also come down here to hit this pawn, but I think then he just pushes that and then it seems kind of pointless. And then there's also king up. There's also this. Yeah, I think knight here. Getting this other knight back into the game here. We are guarding this check. We're guarding that. So his bishop doesn't have too many places to go. He could slide back. And I guess he could go all the way down to here. And then try to come here to hit the pawn. That'd be kind of a weird approach, but maybe it would work. I mean, I would push the pawn, but it will get hard to defend if his king attacks it. I guess I can defend it with the bishop though, so maybe I would be okay. Okay, he does do that. Okay. I'm able to take this pawn. And if he does this, I think I push. And then if he attacks with his king or something, then bishop back to defend. I think if I can take this pawn, it gives me a nice passed pawn. It does put my knight back onto the edge, but I don't know what other approach I would go with, aside from maybe just activating the king right away. But yeah, once he goes here, we push. He's not really looking at anything at that point. Could also push first and go here, but then he might move the pawn. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take the pawn so that I do have a potential path to promote over here. And then maybe I'll hop back in this way or something. That has tempo on the rook. Could come down to here. Maybe I come back to here. But now he doesn't have a pass pawn yet. He wants to make one by attacking this, but I do have a pass pawn. So at this point, I should probably start pushing my a pawn and maybe get my king and push this pawn with it. Maybe we can force him to give up his rook if we can get the pawn pretty far across, but we have to make sure it's going to be supported. Okay, he's pushing pretty quick. I guess he doesn't want to attack yet. Oh, he's preventing me from pushing, but I'm going to go bishop here first so that we allow myself to push. So once he attacks, we can still guard the pawn. His king might come forward, but I will be threatening this right away, threatening to actually just capture that pawn. I think that works. Otherwise, I could go knight here, hit the pawn, goes over. Not sure if any of that makes sense. If I go here, he can guard the pawn like this. If he wants to hit my pawn and then I take his and he takes mine, that's probably just allow that to happen. Otherwise, he might guard like this or something. Do I have a check? You know, if he does that, I still can't push because he has two defenders. I don't know if I want that to happen. Here, here, or no, here, here. Knight doesn't seem to be able to do anything. I could hop. Actually, yeah, I could hop the knight here to double attack this. He could defend it with the pawn though. But then I could take this one. And that hits the rook. So maybe I will do that. Okay, let's just... I don't think there's a different idea so much. So I think I'll just try this. I think he'll play this. And then I'll play this. Okay, no, he guards it with the pawn, actually. Probably will play this anyway. Still can't push, and he's gonna attack this. Here. Didn't I look at him guarding it with the pawn? I guess maybe for some reason I didn't consider that actually. Here. Here. Can I just guard the pawn with my knight? I don't really have a way to guard it. Here. Actually, I could guard it. No, I can't go there. I could guard it like this. Yeah, that kind of works. Just hold on to it. I think that works. Let me try that. Oh no, never mind. I just hung the knight. Wow. Okay, so I had a blunder. Yeah, what the heck. I haven't been able to play much lately, and I feel like whenever I can't play for a couple days, I definitely, my board vision gets weakened a little bit. Because I had that blunder earlier of the fork. Then I had the misclick, which was unfortunate. I think we were still going to hold it together, potentially, until I just blundered that knight for some reason. Not seeing that the bishop is still just covering everything here. So, at this point, actually, he's only up +1. Okay, I think I'm not going to resign, because he's only up +1, because I am up some pawns. But I think it's going to be hard to win now. I'm just gonna push this first because it has tempo, and then it will help support this pawn. Yeah, gonna try that. Oh yeah, I think I would have been okay. I was up. I think I would have still won, probably, if I didn't just do that. My board vision has been quite poor right now. I feel like my calculation has been decent, but my actual just basic level board vision has been a little bit weak. And I was playing a few blitz games earlier, and I did have the same thing where I was getting really good positions, and I was winning most of my games, but then I would just make crazy blunders. And I have gone up quite a bit in my blitz rating. I've gotten up to over 1,000. I was kind of stuck at 700-800 for a while. Got to over 1,000, and I'm getting close to 1,100. But some of my blunders are like extremely low level blunders. Okay, so what do I do here? He is hitting the pawn now. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of an issue. I have to just try to push. I mean, I can't save the pawn. I could go here. Actually, I can go here because now this is safe. Because his king didn't come down. Well, that's what I was going to do if he defended it. I was just going to push it. Because here he had two defenders, and that's why, yeah, if he defended the pawn, I was just going to push. I totally forgot that was my plan. He is able to just push first. We do kind of cut off his king a little bit with our pawn, not that much. And then we do have our bishop to cover the last square here. But yeah, I think just pushing is going to be maybe the right way to go here. And then, do I want my knight to come back? I mean, I need to just push over here. But my knight's kind of in the way. My king needs to probably come up. Okay, so yeah, I might end up having to drop the bishop back, but I think I'm able to do that without too much trouble. Do I push this pawn for any reason? No, I don't think I do. Here, bishop is able to go here with check. But then I want to bring the king up anyway. Yeah, I think just trying to push, but probably bringing the king up first. My king can't defend. I have to rely on the bishop to defend. The king has to attack and try to support my promoting pawns. Let's go here first. Could have gone back to here, but I think I'm just going to rely on defending on the last square here. I will give up my defense of this pawn though, which could be an issue. Okay, let's go. Here hits the rook. Rook maybe comes down. Here hits the bishop. I think I like this. I think I like hitting the rook. And then the king can be used to defend the pawn, because he might just go here. Okay, no, he goes behind that. Okay, let's push. And I'm just going to use the bishop to blockade. I'm not planning to capture the pawn. I want to use it to blockade. But he will start coming down and attacking here, and his king and this other pawn will be an issue. But if I could blockade for long enough. Okay, got the blockade going. I mean, I'm not that far from promoting here. Okay. Yeah, I think there's no reason to try to defend that. I think I'd just push. And the promotion square is potentially guarded by the bishop if the knight moves. he can take, and then he still has a lot of moves before this pawn can get down there. Guess he can come here. Yeah, so he can hit the bishop like that. I will go back. He will push and promote. I'll sack the bishop. Probably he comes behind here. Yeah, I think he's still gonna be fine. Still gonna win if he does that. So that's what I'm expecting. Here and then here. I'll try to push. Okay, no, he doesn't do that. Not sure if he's going for the right idea. I guess he wants to come here maybe to defend this or something, but I probably will block with the knight in that case. Also, I could go here right now. Is there a reason to? Here. Then we hit the pawn and the rook. Can't guard my pawn, which I would want to do. Yeah, I think I'm just going to push. Just going to push here. Just put the pressure on that way. Threatening to promote. Okay, he does do that, but I'm going to go here. Use the knight to block it. Okay. Take here, maybe. Still so close. Actually, should I have even captured or should I have just... Yeah, no, I had to capture because otherwise he's able to just take. I noticed that with this guy, he does tend to play defensively pretty quickly whenever I create a threat, which has been pretty beneficial for me a couple times throughout the game. Because instead of attacking, taking this pawn, I think that was the best way to go. He tried to put his bishop in front of there and play defensively, trying to guard this. But I think if he took and then went here, he would be a little bit closer than my pawn, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe I didn't calculate it right, but it seemed like he had more initiative because his pawn's one square from promoting. So here, he's threatening the bishop. I mean, I have to pull back. He's able to promote. Then I have to sack the bishop, and then the rook can come behind my pawn. I think he would be okay. Okay, so he wants to, if I push, he goes here, can't guard it. I could go here, take, no, that doesn't work. Wait, I can just take this. I can just take this, and then he will promote. Do I want to do that? Push, he has to go back, then I take it? Okay, let's push first. Push, and if he goes here, then I go here. Yeah. I think pushing first works. I don't know for sure. But now he needs to go back to here. And then I take, and then he promotes, and then I take, and then he takes the bishop, but then I promote and get a queen. Okay. And take here. This is what I was planning for. Unless there's some other... I mean, I'm threatening to promote and take the rook. So you kind of need... He needs to promote and make me give up my bishop, but then I still promote after that. I mean, if I somehow win despite my multiple blunders and my misclick, that would be quite shocking. But I don't see a better option that he has. I think promoting, making me give up the bishop seems like the only option. Wait, what if he goes here to pin the bishop? No, but I can still promote because he has to take and yeah. And then my bishop is still going to watch the diagonal, so it always will prevent him from promoting. And okay, I mean, he's taking his time here. I'm at 50 seconds. He's at a minute and 53 seconds. But I don't think there are that many options that he has. And if he does let me promote and he gives up the rook, then I have my king and these other pawns here, and I think I would be able to guide them up to promotion while using the bishop to cover his. Okay. Probably just take. I mean, or just promote, take, but then he takes this. I think I'll take with check first. Right? Yeah, I think I'll take with check first. We still maintain control both ways. I don't really want him to. I don't want to give up the bishop for the rook and the pawn, and then have him immediately capture this pawn as well. Okay. Okay, and then we are going to just start pushing. The only thing is I have to make sure I don't block my bishop, so I have to move the bishop before I put my pawn on b7. Okay, here, and maybe he's hoping that I'll do that I'll block it, but we're definitely not going to do that. So I think do I want to come here, or do I want to go all the way back and just blockade? Probably just blockade. Why not? And then don't even give him the chance to promote. Okay. We have a queen. And just take this. Okay. And do I have can I just do a quick mate here? He goes there. Okay, he resigns. Alright, we gained 10 points. That was kind of an insane game. I actually cannot believe that I just won that after I blundered. I had basically 3 blunders. I blundered that fork early on when I castled. That was a big mistake. Then when I was trying to figure out what to do, I misclicked and I blundered and gave away my rook for nothing, essentially. Luckily, I was able to win the knight back later, so we kind of got that back. But I think if he played a little bit better, he probably could have escaped that knight quickly and maybe not lost it. And then I just hung a piece near the end, and I still somehow ended up winning. Let's check the game review here. And I have a feeling our accuracy is going to be bad on both sides, given that we both made quite a few big errors. But let's see here. Yeah, actually, I cannot believe that I won that. Okay, no, somehow I had almost 80% accuracy. That's very surprising. He had a little bit lower. He was down at 67. I had 2 blunders. He had 1. He did have a lot of misses. And he had a lot of inaccuracies. He had 10 inaccuracies. I had 2. So I did worse on the blunders, but he did worse on the inaccuracies. And we both had 3 mistakes. I'm surprised it gave me 80% almost accuracy for this game. With all the mistakes and blunders. Seems like I would be in the 60s as well. And yeah, let's go through the moves. So he played a blunder kind of right at the start. It says inaccuracy, but yeah. Then you have to play that move, I think, and then take here. He took a lot of time to think about where to move that knight, and now I do want to see, should I have guarded the pawn or... Okay, no, that was the right move. It gave me a brilliant, but this is just like the theory that I learned, so didn't come up with it on my own. But this is about as far as I know. Like, it's just you win some pawns, and then you get this fork, the sacrifice if he takes the queen. So you can be up like one or 2 pawns, maybe 3 pawns at the end of this. And then taking was good. Oh yeah, so this was my mistake. It did want me to go ahead and guard this. Yeah, I saw that I just could castle with check, and I completely overlooked the drawback blunder of not defending this pawn and the knight still being here. So definitely have to avoid making that mistake again. So we had a 1.7 advantage, and then it dropped to a 0.7 here. But then I blundered by not seeing it and immediately just developing the knight here. It wanted me to develop it here to guard it. Yeah, that would probably make sense. But instead I developed it right here, completely oblivious until after I played the move that this pawn was hanging, and it was hanging with a fork. So, and then here, just misclick this. I was thinking of just going like this, so let's see what the engine thinks about that. Yeah, so that would have been good. That was a lot better than what I did with the misclick. And then we go here. So this is what I was planning, and black does have an advantage, but I don't think it's too difficult to deal with here. He has a +1 material, although the engine actually gives him a it's -2 for black. So he has a pretty decent advantage regardless after I blundered that. So that was the biggest issue. He did take, okay, pushing here was good. Yeah, we found some good moves, and then this, we figured out how to win this bishop back, which was good. And then he blundered by moving his king here. He wanted his king to go over. Either way, we win the bishop, but it's not with check. And then I was concerned about the rook coming here to threaten the bishop. That's very surprising. It actually wants me to not even care about that and just play here. Okay, because if he takes... No, but he takes with check. So then I go up, and he's able to guard, because I'm threatening maybe to skewer here once the rook comes down. If it wasn't with check, then I could skewer his king. No, but he would still slide the rook back up to guard, so he would have been fine either way. So why does it actually not want me to play this? To just block. Oh, never mind, because this is the guard of the rook. So I would just play this though, right? Why not just play this? Then the knight comes back, hits there. I mean, it doesn't look great for me, but it seems better than giving up the bishop with check. Let me see what the engine shows here. Here, yeah, we just give up the bishop with check. King comes up. I mean, oh yeah, and then he also can kind of like fork these knights. Because one has to move, right? This looks terrible. Okay, well, that's not what we played. For some reason, the engine does want that. I guess the position is just really bad either way, so. But he blundered by allowing me to take that with check. Then this was a mistake. It did want me to hop back to here, which I was considering with check. But I thought he's just going to keep chasing the knight around. I guess I could push the pawn to guard. No, but then I'm not trapping his knight, so. Yeah, my main idea with hopping the knight back was simply to control this square so his knight has no escape. But if I do it here, then I can get chased. So, I honestly I can't figure out why the engine prefers this one. Because this one does the same thing, guards this. But he can't chase me. What does it want for this after? Oh yeah, it does want him to trade the rooks. Yeah, I was worried that he was going to do that. I did not want him to go and try to trade the rooks right away, because then he gets control of this. Okay, we still try to trap the knight. But yeah, it just seemed a lot worse to trade right away, and then his rook... The sooner his rook got control of this file, the more initiative he would have. So I like that he started playing defensively here. This immediately brought the game back to drawing, actually. It was -3, and after he played this, it went back to... It's actually slightly in my favor. Like, it's basically even. It says plus 0.02, but... Yeah, that was a big mistake. And then here was a miss. Better way to prepare the bishop for development. So it wants the pawn to come all the way forward, but I just was worried that the king would attack it. Because I think I very briefly considered this, but I didn't want the king to be able to just walk right in and take the pawn, so that's why I played here. I don't know why that's a miss. It seems like the pawn is a little weaker there, and I don't want to push this pawn because then I'm not guarding the knight anymore. So I think what I played was fine here. I'm not sure why the engine wants it to go further. I'm sure there's a reason, but I think the way I played it was okay here. Because I have to come back. I'm still losing, and the only way to try to come back was to win this knight. And just pushing this one and then keeping the knight trapped was the whole plan. Okay, my knight hops back. This was best. Okay, I did think about this for a while. Let me see what it says about this. Yeah, then he pushes here. Then I go back to here. Okay, I was thinking I would go back this way. Oh wait, no, never mind. Then he just forks me. Actually, I didn't even notice that when I was planning that, but it didn't look good either way, but I didn't even notice it would be a fork with the pawn there. So this was best, and yeah, I like that it did open up the potential for hopping to here and trying to win the bishop later. Or not win it, but take it and then maybe mess up his pawns a little bit more. Take it for the knight. And okay, so now he decides to trade the rooks, which we kind of have to do. If I do that and then I get the next move, so then I get to win the knight. And I'm actually winning plus 1.6 now, so we take the knight, we take this pawn. Yeah, I want him to push that, so I guess that was kind of a blunder. There were a lot of blunders in this game. Even though it didn't say blunder, but I mean just, things that were pieces that were being hung or pawns that were being hung. And then here, getting concerned about him attacking this. And then that was inaccurate. And I was thinking maybe I should have just played here. No, it doesn't like that, because then he pushes anyway. I mean, I always have the bishop to control his promotion square. It's still +2 for white, so I'm still totally fine here, even if I played that though. But then instead of playing that, I just blundered my knight. And then I just almost pressed resign right here, but then I looked back at the material and I saw it says only +1. Because I was up 2 pawns, I think, and then I hung my knight, so it's not completely game over. And I already have passed pawn here, and he doesn't yet. So I decided to stay in the game and maybe try to draw or something, but we actually were able to. I mean, yeah, I think he thought that he could somehow just immediately promote or something. He was trying to support the pawn with the rook and all that, but the ability to blockade here is really difficult for him to address. I mean, it takes a couple moves. Like, I think the way he did here, and then here would have been pretty good, and I would have had to sack the bishop, but he didn't find those correct moves. Actually, the engine doesn't even like blockading. It wants me to just start pushing my pawns and just sack the bishop. That's interesting. I thought blockading made a lot of sense. Okay, then that's a miss. Now pushing my pawn was great here. And then I think this was a really bad mistake for him. Because if he just went here, and then I pushed, and then he went here. Yeah, this is what I thought he was going to do. If I were him, I probably would have just pushed and forced the bishop to be gone, and then go here, and then go here. Oh no, never mind. It doesn't work because you can block with the knight. Okay, wow. But I guess, could have still gone here, though. Yeah. Wait, no, white's winning. So this was actually tricky for him to find the right moves here. I didn't realize that I would still be able to use the knight on this side to block the file, actually. That's really nice. This knight came in handy being here, because I could have blocked this way, or I could have blocked this way, which I did later on. The bishop, blocked the bishop from protecting a7, which is what allowed me to promote and win the game. Yeah, that knight was so useful there. But yeah, he didn't take that pawn. Instead, he brought the bishop down, which the engine says is inaccurate, which gave me another move to try to promote, and now we're totally drawing again after I hung my piece a little bit ago. And then we block the bishop. And then this was apparently what sealed the deal, was him taking there. Because then there was just no way to prevent this. Yeah, taking, we check there was good, we promote, we get this, and then we just have a free promotion for the b-pawn while we blockade him with the bishop there. So, yeah, that was kind of a crazy game. I actually cannot believe that I won that, but I will take it, and we're up to 13-10. And yeah, this has been day 135. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on day 136.